Hello and good whatever time of the day it is when you're watching this video, and especially hello to Mr. Mike Kerr who inspired me to make this video. This video was supposed to be about delays. The idea for the video came from me and Mike talking about delays, different settings on delays over Facebook, and this was only supposed to be about delay, and especially how Mike's delay settings work in my rig. But since things sometimes get a bit out of hand, this video is more like a full-blown rig rundown of my A-rig. So try to bear with me. We're gonna start with the amp, go through the pedal board, and then get some sound samples out of my rig. So here we go. First, the amplifier. It's made by Bluetone amps, as is the 4x12 under it. It has got dual preamps, one single channel, one dual channel preamp, so it has kind of 3 different channels, 2 different master volumes, and a tremolo. Let's focus first on the preamp number 1, which is called the fried eye preamp. It is this section right here. It is gain to control the amount of preamp distortion in it, byte and fat switches, 3-band EQ, master volume for this preamp. It's very simple, modded Marshall sounding thing. Sort of like semi-high gain stuff. Then we have the Odysseus preamp, which starts from here by the volume. Then it has bright mode, a mid boost, rock jazz mode switch, which kind of switches the emphasis on the EQ on the mid range. Then the standard 3-band EQ, a master volume, and it also has a drive channel on its own, which has gain and level, so I can match up my clean and dirty sounds with them. Both of the preamps have individual settings for reverb. This baby comes with a spring reverb, and then we have a tremolo here, which is disengaged at the moment. Then 2 master volumes, which are post-phase inverter type, so I can get the phase inverter distortion in my tone. And then we have a cut switch, which acts like a presence in this end and resonance in this end. I tend to leave it full on. Then a mute switch and a power switch. Let's turn it on and check out what it sounds like. Alright, let's take a quick peek at the pedal board. This is the Brain Unit Boss ES8, and it is set up in such a way that in the bottom row I have the amplifier features, different types of tones, like these are for the Odysseus preamp, this engages the fried eye preamp, and this puts on the master volume 1 or 2. I call it solo boost because I tend to have the master volume 2 on a bit higher level to get a boost for solos and such things when I have to play louder. First 2 switches are for clean tones. The first is for the jazz mode, the second is for the rock mode of the clean Odysseus channel. Then the dirty Odysseus channel has the exact same features, and the fried eye preamp is engaged by pushing this button. On the top row there is the memory manual switch, where I can go the manual mode to program this thing or whatever I want to do with it. A mute switch. Then the individual effects are put on the top row, so I can add any effect to any amp setting. Now that we are done with the brain, let's go through the signal chain. The signal chain begins in the Orbital Vomit fuzz pedal made by Poison Arrow Effects. Then through the fuzz pedal we go into a Bud one, which is my favorite wah pedal. Next up in line we have a Greuter Audio Boost with Color, which is my smoother boost pedal. Then we have a TC Spark, which is the rougher, brighter boost pedal. From the Spark, signal goes to the whammy unit, and from the whammy unit it goes into the line selection part of the Boss ES8. Normally the signal goes straight through into the amp, but if I press one of these buttons here on the top row, I can make it go through the Boss Rotary or the Boss Super Chorus, or both of them if I want to. Then after the brain / rotating unit, it goes into the input of the amplifier. And in the FX loop of the amplifier I have the Boss DD500 delay pedal. Oh, the brain unit also has a tuner out, which goes all the way to Peterson Strobo Stomp. The best tuner there is. The whole pedal board is built by great wizard of pedal boards and electric guitar stuff in general, Mr. Kim Wirtzenius. There is one little thing I kind of missed. In all of my Cleatones I have this baby on in the line, which is the Exotic SP compressor. It's only on the clean tones, and it is always on when I'm playing clean. Alright, I have the cabinet mic'd within AT2020, and we'll go through the tones from this rig. I'm going to use the Kerr delay preset that I made today, which was inspired by Mike Kerr and me talking about how delays should be set up. First we have the Odysseus preamp running clean on the jazz type of EQ it has. So here we go. Then we have my secret weapon, the fuzz pedal. You can hear by the hiss that it's on, since I have a compressor in between the fuzz and the amplifier. And if I roll guitar volume up just very slightly, I can get this very spanky tone. And if I put the guitar in full volume, then the fuzz is gonna sound like this. Enough of the fuzz. Then let's check out what the clean rock EQ sounds. It's a bit more mid-rangey, a bit more punchy sound. Still the same neck pickup, Les Paul, and compressor in front of it. preamp on the rock mode can get some really good tones. If I boost it with the spark, then we get this kind of like a bit gritty blues tone, I think. That kind of thing. Enough for the cleans. This is the jazz mode of the overdriven Odysseus. So it's got distortion on its own, like this. Great for classic rock type of thing, like. Because I really like those old Purple songs, or something like. And if I boost it with the spark, I can get a really cut through lead tone. And let's add a delay to it because we have Mike's great setting here. And if I want to get like a more mellow lead tone, I will use the Gruyter Audio Booster instead of the TC Spark. It's more like subtle and they say creamier. You get that classic rock lead tone. Then the rock mode of the overdriven Odysseus, it's kind of the same, a bit brighter, a bit more bitey. And it has its uses. Like, if I want to play Guns N' Roses, this would be the tone. And if I add a booster to the equation, I can get a lead tone that's suitable for that kind of music. And obviously a delay too. So on and so forth. Then to the heavy stuff. We have the Friday preamp still left here, and it's great for stuff like Van fucking Helen. as you guessed, when I put on a delay and a booster, I get my shred lead sound. Something like this. Proper guitar video from one guitar player to another without an epic outro jam, wouldn't it? I found a track which goes in B minor that was lying on my computer, and I'm just gonna do some random stuff over it. So I'll try to go hard.